Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lily Read. In today's video, it is the first week of May, and I want to get my reading year back on track. All is not lost. And so I've decided I'm going to prioritize new releases or books that I have just recently gotten my hands on. That's all I'm going to read from here on out. And so with this week, I want to read from two Black authors because that's another thing I need to step up. I need to be reading from more Black authors, and I want to read some new releases. So the first book is one of, I think, the most anticipated books in the book community, and it is by Nandi Okafor. It is called Death of the Author. I'm really excited to read this book. This is a science fiction book, and I have heard really good things about it. This will be my first book from this author. I think this cover is gorgeous, and I am excited to get into it because unlike fantasy, I find myself enjoying science fiction. When I read a science fiction book, I usually like it. I just don't pick it up that often because I don't really know my taste, so I kind of am a little afraid of it. But Black author, Death of the Author, this idea about ownership, it seems like it's right up my alley. I've heard good things about it, so this is the first book we are going to be reading in this video. And then I decided I am going to read some romance. I have been in a romance mood, and I think when I'm in the mood to read romance, I should read romance, because usually when I'm in the mood to read romance, I don't listen to that part of my brain. I just shut it off. I'm just like, shut the hell up. You do not want to read romance. But today I am going to, feed into it, and I am going to read The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. This is the third book in a group of novels that are all loosely connected because it's following a group of sisters. The first book was The Neighbor Favor. The second book was The Partner Plot. And this is the third and final book. It is called The Love Lyric. Me and Christina Forrest have a treacherous relationship. There are times where I think her books are brilliant, so much fun, and there are other times where I find her books to be quite uninspired. So I'm hoping this is a winner. I'm hoping we finish this series out on a winner. And those are the two books that we are going to read this week. I just want to change the mood, something different. Black authors. I want to have some fun this week. So that is what we are going to do. We're going to put some wallpaper up. We're going to make some sourdough finally. We are finally going to make that sourdough that I have been talking about for the past month. And yeah, we're going to have a fun time this week. And so I will see you guys in the first clip. Peace. our first reading update, I need to take my supplements and my knockoff Stanley Cup. My man got this from his job. It's not a real Stanley Cup. Anyways, and I need to come talk to you guys about Death of the Author, and then I need to go and work out. There are people who ask about my workout routine. You guys, I do cardio 4 times a week. That is literally all that I do. Kenya don't lift no goddamn weights. I don't want to lift no goddamn weights. I do cardio 4 times a week. And that's pretty much, I take the weekends off, and every now and then when I feel like I'm in my groove, I'll do cardio 5 times a week. But yes, you guys, I do my bike and I don't play with it. See, a lot of times people, they play with it. I push myself. I feel like this is how I am in life. I feel like there is no reason to do something if you're not doing it to the best of your ability. And therefore, I go hard when I work out. I don't play with it like other people play with it, and that's why I look this good, child. Anyways, let's discuss The Death of the Author by Nandi Okafor. So in this book, we are following a woman by the name of Zelu. Zelu, something has happened to her because her family is being interviewed by somebody, and everyone is alluding to an incident that happened to Zelu that, you know, everyone knew would eventually happen. What led to this moment happening? And so finally, we as the readers, we get introduced to Zelu. Zelu is paralyzed from the waist down. Zelu is a writer and she is a professor. She has not really published anything in the writing part of her life, and in the professor part of her life, she actually just got fired. And she is at a wedding. She is at a wedding for her sister, and everyone keeps asking her, when are you going to get married? She's just like, I'm never going to get married. While she is at this wedding, she meets this guy. They hook up on the beach, and that kind of like opens her up to like wanting to write. So she goes back to her room and she starts writing this book called Robust Robots. And this starts her on her author journey. We as the reader, we start to read passages from her story. How do I explain this story? This story is basically about robots and androids as they deal with the fact that human beings have been wiped out, and they as robots also might be wiped out. There's this idea that Earth is getting closer to the sun, and they might go extinct as well. So our main robot is on this mission to get this message across to everybody that their days is numbered. But there's beef between all the robots. All the robots don't like each other, and all of this is like an allegory for like the real world and kind of like AI and having control over your body and all of this other stuff. So that's what's happening in like the book that she is writing. Well, we know in the real world that she is going to be offered a book deal, and that's going to lead to something. That's pretty much what is happening in this book. So let me explain the form of this book. This book is told, like I said, through interviews that take place in the future, which I guess you could say is kind of current day. We're in like this current day where something has happened to Zelu, and we're learning about that through interviews with her family. Then we have kind of the past where we are with Zelu as she is writing this book and she is becoming a published author. And then we are reading passages from the book. So this Nandi Okafor, she is a sci-fi writer. So if you want sci-fi elements in this book, you are going to get those elements through the book that she is writing, which is actually really, really interesting. And then there's like a literary fiction element happening with our author who is writing the book. I am on page 100 of this book, and you guys, I am really enjoying this. This is really, really easy to read. One of my favorite ways for a story to be told, or something people use in stories, is when like everyone alludes to something that's going to happen in the past. So like something will happen and everyone will be like, and this was the moment where everything would turn. I love it. I love when a book does that, when a book kind of breaks that fourth wall and tells you like, and this is the beginning of the end. That's what this book is doing, and I am loving it so much. It just adds an air of mystery and intrigue, and it almost makes it seem like there's another person in the book narrating the book for you. I love it so much, and this book is doing that. This book is just really, really well done. Even the way that this book is like made. I am not on the side of sprayed edges. I have decided I don't like sprayed edges. I just think no matter what book does it, something about it looks cheap. So I don't like sprayed edges, but that's not what I'm saying is well done. So you have the actual cover of the book, and this print is like a Nigerian print, I believe, and the name of the character in the sci-fi story she's writing is named after this print. So number one, the attention to detail in that way. But then you take the book off, you take the dust jacket off, and you're left with the hardback, which has a printed on cover. More people should do this. Instead of giving us sprayed edges, more people should print onto the hardcover. And then you're left with like robust, I said robust, it's rusted robots. You're left with rusted robots, which is the name of the book that she published. And this is the character in the book. And it's just so pretty. So you have the book that you are reading, and then you have the book that she has written, and it's both right here. This is just so thoughtfully done. And if you're going to charge me $30 American for it need to look like this. Like, if $30 can give me this, then I don't know what the hell I'm paying $30 for that don't got all this stuff. But this is really good. I'm going to keep reading. I would love to knock out maybe 150 pages today, some more. Maybe get halfway through this book. But I'm liking this a lot. It's right up my alley. Right up my alley. But anyways, I got to go work out. I got to take my vitamins. I did a sponsorship with Ritual. And so I just take Ritual multivitamins because they work and they're good. And I can get them down. I'm so bad at taking pills. But anyway, I'm going to take these. I'll talk to you guys later when I'm ready to read again, okay? Peace. guys, it is about midnight. I'm a late bed person. You guys know I am not an early riser and I go to bed pretty late. I would go to bed even later if it wasn't for my man. Um, I'm about to read some pages. I just think this naked hardcover is so freaking pretty. I am about halfway through this book. I'm actually past the halfway point, which means I've read about 150 pages since the last time you guys have seen me. And this book is really good. I can't really give any like what I think I'm going to end up giving the book, but there's so many pieces to this book. The part of the story where you're following this robot at the end of the earth, you know, all humans are extinct. That's interesting, and what that's saying about like life and AI and bodily autonomy, that's all interesting. But then now in the reality portion of the book where we're following this author who has written this story, there's science fiction elements now in her story too, and all of that is well done. And what I'm really enjoying now where I'm at this book is where we're getting like the death of the author part. This idea of owning your own story and owning your own work, and once you make something who it belongs to, and how that can also play a part into your identity and your body. I just find everything that this author is doing to be really clever. It's doing so much that I sometimes don't even catch it. Sometimes I'll read a page and I'll just have to sit with it for a little bit because I'm just like, this is so well done and so thoughtful. Every single part of this is just meticulously put in there. And so I'm really enjoying this book. This book is really easy to read. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to read until I fall asleep. Because I'm actually really sleepy, so I probably won't get very far. But we'll do some sprints tomorrow, and I'll finish up the book tomorrow, okay? Peace. Hello, you guys. I am about to go read. Last time I talked to you guys, I was in the bed. I ended up reading 30 pages since the last time you guys have seen me. I was sleepy. It was time to knock out. But I am going to finish this book. I have about 150 pages left, so I'm just going to sprint it on out. And that is what I'm going to do. I am still very much so enjoying this book. I am so curious about how this book is going to end. Usually when a book is kind of stringing me along and like there's all these different pieces, I can get bored of it. But I find this main character in this world to be so interesting, and the vibe of this book is just so good. So I am simply just along for the ride. So I'm going to sit down on my couch, which I love even more than I loved the day before. I love this couch, by the way. If you guys want to know where this couch is from, this is a Sarah Ellison Muse couch. It is from Design Within Reach. I would wait until Design Within Reach has a sale. They do 10%, 15%, 20% throughout the year, and get this couch. There's another Sarah Ellison couch that I really, really want too. And like maybe like in a few years, I might get another couch for like my downstairs or something. But this couch, love, fab, amazing. So I'm about to just sit on it, and I am going to get to reading. Peace. Hello, you guys. I have officially finished Death of the Author by Nandi Okafor. I'm going to go ahead and give this book the 4 stars that I feel like this book deserves. I really enjoyed this book. This book had a message. I think it relayed that message. I think the most impressive thing about this book outside of the writing is the ambition of this book. George R.R. Martin, in his blurb, He says that this book is like 4 books in one, and he is correct. You are dealing with so many moving parts in this book. You are dealing with this author trying to become famous. You are dealing with this woman who is paralyzed, who is trying to see where she fits in her culture and in this world. You are dealing with the book that she is actually writing, and then you are dealing with this science fiction element that has been brought into her life because she wants to change the way that she lives and the way that, you know, her lifestyle is. So there really is like 4 books going on. And what's so clever about this book is that all of these parts kind of have the same theme. They're kind of hitting on the same idea of identity and truth and technology, how technology plays a role in our life, and what is left of human beings. That's what I think is the most interesting part about this book. The conversation this book is trying to have about when people allow technology to take over their life, how much of the human being is still left after that. This book is right on time. It hits so many notes, and I just really enjoyed this book. The only thing that I would take away from this book is I think there could have been some better world building because this book is trying to do so much. I think the world building kind of goes away. I constantly found myself wondering, like, where does this character fit in the scope of the real world? Like, what was she doing before this moment, before we were in this book? It was hard for me to visualize or to see her in any moment but this book. So I do think there could have been some world building done that really would have nailed this one home for me. But for this to be my first Nandi Okafor, and I hope I'm not butchering her name, for this to be my first book from her, I really, really enjoyed it. It makes me want to go read Binti. So I'm probably going to go get my hands on Binti. I didn't realize that she's written so many books. These are all the books that she has written. She's written young adult books. She's written children's book. She has her adult novels. So I think I'm going to go ahead and read Binti because that's the book that I've heard the most about. So that should be fun. But all's done, all's well that ends well, and we are done with this book. So we are going to move on to our second and last book of this video, and that is The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. Why did I choose this book of all the books? Because I'm actually in a romance mood, and so I decided to pick up like a new release romance. This book came out a few months ago, and I know the book club, my book club, they decided that they wasn't gonna read this book with me, so I have to read it at some point on my own, or it'll just stick around for a really long time. And I kind of want to just put an end to this series. I've read all the books in this series, and I kind of want to put an end to this series. And yeah, if I don't like this book, do I want to make a big statement? Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's put some stakes in this. If I don't like this book, I do not think I will pick up any more Christina Forrest adult books. She's coming out with a young adult novel later on in the year. I will pick that up because I've loved her young adult books. But if I don't like this book, I will not be giving any more of her adult outings any more of my attention, because it will be 3 straight back-to-back adult books that I gave less than 4 stars. So what are we doing here? So that's the stakes in this. Anyway, me and my beloved, we are going to do some wallpaper. We are finally going to put that wallpaper up in our house. We won't finish it. I don't think we have enough, but we're going to finally put up some wallpaper, and I'm going to read. I will come back for first updates, and that will be how we wrap up this vlog. Last book, The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. Okay? Peace. Hello, you guys. First things first, we gotta come and finally discuss the wallpaper. That looks so good. Like, oh my freaking God. Ignore this. This looks so good. I know to some people it might give granny, but granny is kind of my aesthetic. Like, I'm very like, if I could describe my aesthetic, it's like, your favorite kindergarten teacher who's whimsy, and like grandma. Like that's my two, with a little bit of fab in there, with a little bit of chic in there, like with a little bit of chic. Like kindergarten teacher, grandma, chic. Like that's my triangle. That's my and this is just, it is just scratching that grandma itch. I just think this looks so fucking good. But we are far from being done, baby. Like you can't even see. We've done some of this wall, but you can't even see it. It's way down there. So we're not finished, and we won't be finishing it in this video. Next time y'all see me, it'll probably be done. Anyways, I want to come and talk to you guys about the love lyric because I was able to get to page 70 yesterday, which is low-key a flop. I wanted to get to page 150 of this book, but I ended up going on a date, and then at the 4 lemon drops, it was just hard to get back into this book when I came home. So we got to change the narrative today. I would like to, in a perfect world, I would damn near finish this book today. But I do have a lot of stuff to do today, so I actually won't even be able to read for like maybe 5 more hours, so we don't know. But anyway, let me tell you what this book is about. So in this book, you are following the third sister in this group of sisters, this family, and this girl's name is Iris. Iris is a widow. She is a widow, and she has a daughter. Her husband died in a car accident, and she's kind of been, running away from love. She feels like she only had one true love in this life, and that has left her. So she is just like, I don't want love. Well, a few years ago, her and this guy named Angel met. Angel was an up-and-coming R&B singer, and Iris's sister is a stylist. So her sister was styling Angel, and they met each other at like an industry party. Angel really liked Iris. Iris was, like I said, she doesn't really care about the boys. So they had like this, misconnection type of thing. Well, now we are 3 years and we are in the present, and Angel and Iris have met up again at a wedding because one of our sisters got married. And at the wedding, Angel came to the wedding, and obviously Iris, she's the maid of honor. She was at the wedding. Now, Angel is not who he was 3 years ago. Angel has made it big. Angel is a huge artist. He's doing really, really well. And Iris, she works for a makeup company. So their paths have crossed, but not actually, because the makeup company that Iris works for, Angel does sponsorships with. He's like the face of the company. So she knows about Angel. But they've never actually like interacted until at this wedding. They do interact, and they almost kiss, you guys. And Iris runs away because she don't like the boys. And Angel is just like, I really like this girl, because Angel really liked her back in the day. And so Angel decides he's going to write a song about her. He writes a song about Iris. It's a hit. It plays through the radio. And Iris is like, is this about me? Yes, girl, it's about you. Well, something's going to happen that's going to lead these two people to having to work together, and then things and things and things. That's what has happened in the first 80 pages. 70. I'm on page 70. It's all right. It's fine. I'm only on page 70. When it comes to a romance book, you really get me right here. This is your make or break. This part right here. You never gonna get me at the beginning, and you never gonna get me at the end. You got these about 150 pages here to prove your weight. This is where you find me. So I'm not gonna judge off that, but I do like the setup. I do like it when you have a romance book, and like, the characters are not typically who you see in romance books. So like, I like that this Iris is a widow. You don't really get that in romance books. I like that Angel is famous. I don't know how I feel about books about people who are famous, because I just don't read them enough. But I'm liking it here. Like, there's something fun. There's something interesting. And that's all I ask for in a romance. For it to be fun, for it to be a little bit interesting. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm going to keep reading this, and we're going to continue. You guys, I have the best man in the world. I deeply, deeply, deeply love Legos. I love like looking at people who have made Legos. But the problem is, I don't actually like building things. So Legos is like an anti-Kenya thing. I do not like putting together Legos. It's the same. I don't like putting furniture together. I don't like I don't like building things. It's just not my thing. I do like puzzles, but I had to learn to like puzzles. But I don't like Legos. I never liked Legos, but I like the way Legos look. And so My man was like, he was somewhere and he found a Lego set and he was like, Kenya, I thought you would really like it. And why did he put this together, you guys? Look how pretty this is. Like, this was genuine. Like, this made my day. This made my day when he showed me this and he put this whole thing together, and I just think it is so beautiful. That's what I mean when I say I like really love the way Legos look. I would never want to put this together myself. It would bore me, but he put it together for me and it is just so pretty. Look at this. Like, look at this from a distance. It even almost kind of looks real. So I just thought this was so cute. This is the bonsai Lego. I have the box right here. This is the bonsai tree Lego. So you can use the green flowers if you want to, and then you can do the pink. So right now we have the green ones on. And I just thought that was just the cutest freaking thing in the world that he did. Anyways, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit later about the love lyric, and yeah, peace. Hello, you guys. I am at the end of this book. I have about 100 pages left of this book, so I'm about to sit back there and finish this book. Okay, so as we continue with the story, I told you that Angel and Iris, they were going to start working together. They have been working together. Romance has ensued. Our big issue in this book is that Angel is famous and everybody knows him. And Iris is a widow and she has a daughter she has to protect. So she just doesn't believe this is going to work out because Angel, he's too famous. She wants her privacy. And also Angel is dealing with the fact that like he also wants privacy as well. So there's just a big privacy issue. There's a big you come from this world, I come from this world. How is all of this going to work? That's what's pretty much happening in this book. But Iris and Angel like each other. They're spending time together, and that's how our book is continuing. How do I feel about this book? Of course I don't love this book. I knew I wasn't going to. I came in with the best of intentions, but I knew I wasn't going to like this book. It's the same way I haven't liked a single book in this series. I just didn't really actually think it was going to change up all that much on the third book. Here is what I can say about this book. I think that there are books for certain purposes. Everybody does not read 200 books a year like I do. Therefore, there are people who just pick up a book, want to read a book, this was a fun time, and go on with their life. They are not really, all that invested in like, is this the best romance book? Could this book be better? And that's what I think Christina Forrest's books are good for. They are good for people who just want to pull something off a shelf, read the book, have a good time, and go. Like, it just don't have to be that deep for them. And so instead of, and this is something I'm trying to bring into all facets of my life, instead of being so critical in a negative way, being more understanding of why this book could work for other people. And I think this entire series could work for a certain type of reader. I am not that reader, and that is fine. But I do think as I, try to be more understanding of the world around me, I do think these books serve a purpose for people. Number one, this is a Black romance, and you guys know I think we need more Black romance. The fact that Christina Forrest not only is writing Black romance books, but Black romance books about darker skinned people, I just think that is so important. And so for that, check. And then, like I said, these books aren't bad. Like, I think I'm going to end up giving this book 3 stars when it's all said and done. It's just not what I'm looking for in romance. But everybody don't got to be looking for what I'm looking for in romance, So for me, how could this book have been better? I just think Christina Forrest's books for me just need more. They need a little bit more zip. You want to know what they remind me of? Jasmine Guillory. The author Jasmine Guillory, who's written so many romance books, they remind me of her books. Like, they're missing that je ne sais quoi, that thing that's just like, I gotta get back to my people. That's what it's missing. It's missing that excitement, that giddiness that's like, ooh, these people need to get to. It's missing that. And so I will see after this next 100 pages, but that is not fully getting me in that aspect. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this up. and then I'm going to wrap up the video. I think in my mailbox, I have 2 subscription boxes in my mailbox, maybe only one, maybe the second one hasn't come yet, so maybe I was speaking too soon, but I do know I at least have 1 book to show you that came in the mail, so I need to do that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hello you guys, I am here to wrap up the video. I'm going to go ahead and give the love lyric 3 out of 5 stars. I like the neighbor favor the most in this series. I like the partner plot the second best, and no, sorry, let me say that all again. I like the neighbor favor the best. I like this book second, and then the partner plot was last. But I did say that if I wasn't high on this book, I was going to make a decision, and my decision is that I probably will not pick up any of Christina Forrest's adult novels anymore. I think she is coming out with a novel at the end of this year, which is young adult, and I have liked all of Christina Forrest's young adult books. The lowest I gave was Zyla and Kai, and I gave that 3.5, which is higher than I've given any of her adult books, and that's the young adult book I liked the least. Her other book I gave 4 stars, and the one before that I gave 5 stars. So therefore, I think me and Christina Forrest, we match on young adult. Young adult is where we need to be. Adult, just not doing it for me, and it's not just Christina Forrest. I feel like Christina Forrest falls into this group of like authors that I just don't think jive with my taste. So it's not just her, it's a lot of young adult authors where I just feel like the books aren't personally worth my time. I could be reading something else. But I am happy I got to this one, got to wrap up the series, because you guys know my thing is wrapping up series. So I am happy it wasn't in the book club. That was good. But anyways, we read that book. Then we read Death of the Author, which was really the winner in this video. This book is really, really good. I think you should go pick it up. Even if you don't like it as much as I did, I really think you'll still have a good time with this book. This is my first time reading something from this author, and I would read some more from this author. I just had a really good time with this book. So overall, I think we had a successful week of reading. I told you guys I had a subscription box to go get. Now, I have another subscription box on the way. It didn't come. I checked my mailbox, but Book of the Month did come. Book of the Month had some good selections this month. I did end up skipping my Book of the Month selection last month. I didn't pick a book, so I could have picked 2 books, but I didn't. I ended up getting Home of the American Circus by Allison Larkin. I have a thing on Book of the Month. Either I am going to pick a book I've never heard anything about, or I'm going to pick a book that was on my radar, which sounds like those are the only 2 choices, but no. There are plenty of books that I've heard of and are not on my radar that are Book of the Month choices, or they're just thrillers or they're romance. I don't pick anything from that on Book of the Month. If I didn't already want to, if I already heard about a book and decided like, I don't pick it on Book of the Month. If it's a thriller, I don't pick it. If it's a romance, I don't pick it. That's my like no picks. My best thing though from Book of the Month is usually a book I've never heard of that like piqued my interest from the synopsis, and that was this book. So I am excited to read this. Our next video, we're going to discuss Book of the Month, because you probably have noticed I've been hauling a lot of Book of the Month books, but when have I been reading these Book of the Month books? We're going to get on that in the next video. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. We made some sourdough. We put up some wallpaper that still ain't done. The sourdough was delicious. Sourdough, the thing with sourdough just takes a lot of time. You know, I want to make some more, but you guys see the process. It's a long process, but it's really not once you get into the groove of it. I just would have to like get the yeast to rot. It's a whole thing, but we'll definitely make it in another vlog. I will talk to you guys in the next one though.